everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. My name is Denise Evans. I'm the president of the Petoskey Area Antiques Club, and we are really delighted to have everyone here today. The marker is in, as you see, and we're really excited about that. I would like to introduce the folks who are going to be speaking today, and then I'm going to introduce Ima, who will introduce our first speaker. Ima Williams is the chairperson of the Petoskey Antiques Club Marker Committee, and I will say the genius behind the whole program. And we're glad you could be here today. And I would also like to say that we're very honored to have Frank Adewadichik here today. As well as Tom Truscott. Tom is a commissioner with the Michigan Historical Commission, executive director of the Harbor Springs Area Historical Society, Mary Cummings, who is our partner in this project. And I'd also like to introduce Emmett County Parks and Recreation Director Lori Gaetano. Yay. And Assistant Director Sandy Hansen. Yay. And their staff. The signpost digger. And of course, members of our club are here as well, and honored guests. We're really happy you could all make it here today.
Our speaker today is a man I have admired for a long, long time. He lives in Harbor Springs with his wife, Rochelle. He has 4 adult children and 6 grandchildren. He's a traditional storyteller and potter, believing that Native people need to be rooted in their traditions in order to be prepared for the future. He served in tribal elected office for 16 years, 14 as the tribal chairman of the Little Traverse Bay Band of Ottawa Indians in Harbor Springs. And during his tenure as tribal chairman, he was instrumental in the adoption of the tribal and First Nation Great Lakes Water Card in 2004. He currently serves on several nonprofit boards, including the Association on American Indian Affairs, the Anishinaabe-Mowigteg, and the Michigan Indian Education Council. He was a 2010 fellow at the Native Nations Institute Indigenous Leader Fellowship Program at the University of Arizona. His 40 years of public service have included serving on the executive board of the National Congress of American Indians, the Midwest Alliance of Sovereign Tribes, the Historical Society of Michigan, the Chippewa-Ottawa Resource Authority, the Michigan Climate Action Council, the Little Traverse Conservancy, the Michigan Travel Commission, the Public Interest Advisory Group for the International Joint Commission's Upper Great Lakes Study, the Michigan Great Lakes Offshore Wind Council, and the Michigan Groundwater Conservation Advisory Council. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Frank Adewadichik.
I get tired just when everybody reads that. Most of the speeches I've given have been, I write them after the main course and before dessert on a napkin, just a few little lists of words. Uncharacteristically, I actually wrote a speech this day. Our tribal ancestors from this part of Mother Earth received teachings embodied within the Nanaboju stories told by the Anishinaabe, the elders. We learned how to care for one another and the value of living in harmony and living with respect for all the beings of creation. These stories were collected by the men who came to live amongst us. Henry Schoolcraft was one of these men. His collected material was used by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow as he began to write an epic poem with the working title Manaboju. As the work progressed, the title and the hero of the epic was renamed Hiawatha. The book was published as the Song of Hiawatha in 1855. After surviving literary criticism that the author had plagiarized the poem from the Finnish epic the Kalevala, the Song of Hiawatha became very widely popular. Subsequently, theatrical performances were presented in various locations around the country. We are here today to celebrate the unveiling of a state of Michigan historical marker placed in honor of the Hiawatha Pageants that were staged here at Round Lake for many years. Local Odawa and Ojibwe performed in the events, including several of my family members. While the Hiawatha Pageants ended before 1949 when I was born, the newly built Ottawa Indian Stadium in Harbor Springs was the site for a new type of summer performance. Each year the program changed, and in 1953, when I was 4, I received my first paycheck, some amount of $5, for playing Little Hiawatha. And there's one of Virgil Haynes' photographs is of my father and I sitting on the back of one of those Buick convertibles, riding in the parade before the pageant. Our tribe has survived. We survived physical attacks, legal attacks, social and political attacks, administrative neglect and indifference, and we survived long denial of our treaty reserved rights. This marker is a testament to one aspect of our survival. Our stories live on. We not only can read them in books, but the Anishinaabe, the elders, still tell them in our oral traditions. We know the true names of the hills, lakes, forests, and streams. Our people have not only had enemies, however, we have had and still have many friends with whom we live in harmony, and we share the wisdom contained in the stories that inspired this Hiawatha pageant and its historical marker. Thank you.
To the unveiling of the marker, and I've asked Mary Cummings. You can see that on this side it talks about the history of the marker and about the Canadian Louis Armstrong, who started the pageant up in Canada and then brought it down here to Round Lake. And then on this side you'll see a different text which talks about the pageant and the goes a little bit more into Longfellow's words here, as well as what the pageant might have looked like out here on Round Lake.